What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know you're excited to be here right now for the most jam-packed hour you have ever received in your life, filled with hope, positivity, encouragement, inspiration, motivation, and elevation, baby. Whoa, I'm excited. So I hope you guys are ready to receive all of this great energy. Pull up a chair, let down your hair, and unwind and de-stress yourselves and be ready to receive, because I'm excited for you, baby. Let's go. Woo!
Joseph Jaffe is not famous. Me, Tom Arnold, I am very famous. I absolutely like, because it's very true. Like, I hadn't freaking heard of you until I was sitting on a Friday night. This is how bad my life is. Listen, fucker, good luck. Good luck with your rebranding. Like anybody knew what the name was before. What was the name? Okay, who gives a shit? That's a good name, because it's got your name in it. You can pretend you're humble. You say, I'm not famous. And, which you aren't. So you're just, I mean, anyway, but I hope you get famous doing this. Good luck to you.
When it comes to chicken, I'm your guy.
Blinking.
I'll have what Joseph has.
Look, somebody's talking about you.
This is what we call the voice of God.
Popping.
Everybody just gets to focus on you.
Grab me.
Probably not the best thing for an introvert.
I'm asking for you.
Well, I like a good chicken sandwich.
Touch me. Hi, David. Comment.
Oh my God.
Like.
You're actually an identical twin.
Push.
Maybe I'll just ask Julie to talk about what it is to be an identical twin.
Pick me up.
No, you didn't.
Shouting.
Surprise! Jeremiah, just hang on a second. I just got a text.
There's an edit for your new opening, Joseph.
I feel really honored to have been here, man.
But by the way, you've done a masterful job. Seriously.
And it was such a joy.
Thanks, Joseph. It's an honor.
Good on you. This was a pleasure.
I mean, you are the prime example of how to pivot in this new environment.
I wish everybody gets an opportunity to interact with Joseph Jaffe.
Who needs Cameo when I've got my own personal Cameo? Well, here we are again. A week has gone by, and nothing much is going on in my life. How about you guys? Wait, I can't really even see you guys, so I'm just gonna take this mask off. There we go. This is Joseph Jaffe, the not famous, but also the kind of sickly Joseph Jaffe, at your service, my friends. This is my pulse oximeter. Is that the right word? I'm going to give you a live diagnosis in front to see if I am in fact living or dying. There's going to be a lot of dark humor here. That's why I'm wearing black. Whoa, is that 66 or 99? That is 99. My oxygen level is 99. My pulse is 64. I can try and fake it. I'm not going to fake it. But thank God I have oxygen inside me, and we can get on with the show. Stephen Rubin is here. He is watching. I'm glad you're watching, Stephen. I will continue to deliver an entertainment experience for you. The Daily Show meets, or the Daily Show for business. Why not? Let's get on with it. Well, last week, I was meant to have Steve Garfield, Rachel D'Alto, Elaine Powell, and Glenn Lundy, but unfortunately, I was taken ill. And I thought maybe tonight what we would do is we would get straight into our seated soliloquy, and one that I'm going to call Coivaded. I think you know what I mean. There you go. Michael Mann is here. He says he's watching. Let's get on with the soliloquy, in a very different one compared to normally what I give you. I'm even going to do something that I don't do, which is talk remotely about myself. I'm going to put a bunch of ways below of ways that you can, well, I'll talk about them in the soliloquy, and I need to find some good music for it. So I think I could go with, I could go with deep, I could go with smolder, I could go with snarky, or I could go with peace. Let's go with smolder. There we go. COVID is not over. I have COVID right now. No clue when, where, or from whom I got it. I just returned from South Africa. I don't know anyone who gave it to me or got it from me in South Africa or the US. Not one. I suspect that I got it in transit. I'm fully vaccinated and was about to get my booster, but I held off because I didn't want to get an adverse reaction before getting on the plane. The joke was on me. My theory is that I got a mother load of a viral load, but had an extremely small shedding window. And here's why I think this is the case. I lost my sense of smell and taste, and I still don't have it back. I had a fever for 2 days, but thankfully that's been over since Thursday. My symptoms seem to mirror a bad head cold or sinus infection, congestion, headache, sneezing, runny nose, and eyes. There's no doubt in my mind I am not in hospital because I was fully vaccinated. COVID is not over. In the worst year of my life, health-wise, of course I was going to get COVID, and it's not pleasant. I'm still isolating, but thankfully I'm able to continue my show and this relationship with you. I'm so grateful for my family, friends, and community. Now, a lot of people have reached out and offered to help, and here are a few ways that you can. Buy JAFFE coin. You don't even need to send it to me. You can just hold it, or HODL, hold on for dear life. The coin is $10 at the moment and is a direct reflection of the growing JAFFE economy. When I started this journey in March of 2021, it was 34 cents. Do the math. This is not financial advice. Number 2, buy a JAFFE NFT, which costs $54 and up. With your purchase, you'll get a copy of my ebook of the first 50 interviews of the show, plus access to pre-tapings, audition, and reunion shows. Number 3, subscribe to my show's channel on YouTube and tell a friend or 3 about the show. That's free. If you have recommendations for future guests on the show, especially famous friends, because I am decidedly not famous, please be so kind as to make an introduction. Number 4, subscribe to my email newsletter, which is kind of quiet right now as I've been kind of preoccupied and a little overwhelmed. And finally, if you'd like to know more about corporate solutions, where I create entire custom and private episodes of this show for you, for your company, for your clients, for training, employee engagement, or internal communications, please contact me. I can put you in touch with some very satisfied customers. I don't ask for things very often, but I've also learned that there's no harm or shame in being vulnerable and asking for help every now and then. So thank you for the indulgence. And now, on with the show. So we can stop worrying about the past, and we can stop worrying about the present. We can just focus on today, on right now, and specifically what the week ahead has in store for us. Evan Kirstel tonight, Jackie Huber tomorrow, Grace Holden, and then Christina Sanderson closing out our week. And the last show of 2021 will be on December 9th, after which I will take a break, and I will be back January 10th, 2022. Tonight, we focus on Evan Kirstel. He is the Techfluencer. I already have 2 questions for him. I already want to know, he seems to be sitting on a plane. It looks like it's a BA. I'm not really sure. I think he's wearing pajamas. I want to know where he was flying to. He looks so damn comfortable. And I want to know what a Techfluencer is. I have so many questions. Evan, I hope you have answers. But before we get to him, as always, you know, the objective of this show is to give you things and give things to you. And we start off with JAFFE coin. Every single episode of the show, as long as the show is live, you get JAFFE coin. All you got to do is point. Evan's doing it right now in the background. You point your phone towards that QR code and you get yourself some JAFFE coin. And what I love about it, and I say it every single night, the QR code is only live when the episode is live. So if you're watching this time shifted or on demand, you'll still get all the goodness. You just won't get JAFFE coin. I also have my own NFT, as I mentioned in the soliloquy. On the left, the colorful one, that's the one you can buy for $54 and up, and you can resell it. That's the beauty of the NFT. You can resell it for $60, for $100, for $1,000, and you get 90% of the proceeds. So it is kind of the gift that keeps on giving. And then the gold one on the right, well, you can't get that. It's not for sale unless you are a guest on the show. And I believe Evan has his own. And if he doesn't have his own already, he will get one by the end of tonight. It's my way of saying thank you. And now it's time to say not thank you, but please, and bring him onto the show. And let me just tell you a little bit about the Techfluencer himself. Evan Kirstel is a tech influencer, which probably explains the word Techfluencer, with over 500,000 social media followers, specializing in enterprise tech, B2B, social media marketing, and content creation. He's built an organic reach in the tens of millions in just 10 years. Named fourth most engaging digital marketer by Brand24. Now I have to ask who won through 3 years. He's worked with B2B tech brands like Intel, 3M, AT&T Business, Qualcomm, HPE, Telefonica, Samsung, Citrix, and Ericsson, to name a few, to help them achieve massive visibility and scale, leveraging the power of social media in a variety of market segments, including, but not limited to, mobile, blockchain, cloud, 5G, health tech, Internet of Things, AI, digital health, crypto, AR, VR, big data, analytics, and cybersecurity. He is the most interesting man in the world. He is Mr. B2B. Let's say hello to him. Evan, welcome to the show.
Woohoo! Hey everyone, I made it. I made it on the JAFFE show.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it. You're famous. I'm not famous.
You hung
made
in
it.
there
I almost
for me.
didn't
I
make it.
really appreciate you hanging in there for me. Thank God, Regeneron. We did it.
We did it.
Kept you around.
Regeneron shares are going through the roof. I'm going to need the laugh track to you, for you. Ritesh is here. He says, "Oh wow, I'm on a call and will join. If it ends soon, it better." And J.S. Gilbert just says sorry. What do you think he's saying sorry for? Is he apologizing for people watching you and me? I don't know.
I think it's a pandemic. He's just apologizing for the state of mankind at the moment. But we're in the moment. You are and I are here. I'm so excited, actually, I am, to be on the show. I've been in, 50, 20, 30, 40 of your clubhouse rooms. And yet now we're looking right at each other. It's so much more dynamic. And I'm excited.
I realize actually kind of like it is exciting because, you know, we feel like we know each other and we've heard each other's voices and we've seen each other's, you know, stills, our profile pictures. And now we actually get to hang out face to face. And I know we were planning a lunch at some point, which we're still going to do. So many, many more exciting times ahead for sure.
Absolutely. No, I'm thrilled to be here, and I appreciate that wonderful introduction. And I'm just glad we're both alive. That's it. That's it. That's the show in a nutshell.
Me too. And alive. I'm getting a lot of context here. First of all, Ritesh says, "Hey, Evan, you're famous." And
I'm famous now. I've been on the show with Joseph JAFFE.
No, I think you're famous for all your billions.
I'm Twitter
and billions.
Famous. There's a difference between Twitter fame and real fame, but I'll take it. Thank you so much.
We're going to come back to being Twitter famous in a moment, but Ritesh wants to add that the call did end, and so he's here. And JS apologized because his finger slipped. But he actually said, "Joe, sorry, you lost out to the world's most sexiest man, to Paul Rudd, to Ant-Man. He's so tiny, bastard."
Were you on the list, Joseph? I maybe you've runners up. Can we give you the runners up award?
You know, I remember in South Africa when a lot of my friends were studying to get their, I guess, their BA SA or CA SA, studying to become accountants, BCom, whatever. And they only, when they passed the board, they would only get a pass or a fail. And the only other indication was if they finished in the top 10. So you would know if you finished in the top 10. And so the standing joke was that when someone said, "How did you do?" they would say, "I came 11th." So close, so that's where I am with World's Sexiest Man. I was just off the list. So close.
It's so interesting with awards and recognition and affirmation, and how relevant is it? Is it all about followers and audience and reach? Do awards matter anymore? Do people still get awards? Is this an award-winning show that I'm on right now? Have you been nominated for something? I mean, or should we forget about that nonsense? It's all about the impressions and the reach and the audience.
I actually won the Sweeney's, which was this mug was sent to me by Toy Sweeney, by one of my amazing previous guests, who, by the way, she also sent me, and I've been waiting for the right time to share. She sent me my color, which is pink/magenta. So I'm a winner. No, listen, I need to nominate myself for a few awards. And
that's so humble of you. That's just so self-effacing.
Well, not only do I need to I'm going to create the award show, then I'm going to nominate myself, then I'm going to vote for myself, and then I'm going to win.
You go to school, in middle school, whatever, high school, and you win all these awards. You win trophies and first, second, third runner up, and you win spelling bees. And then in college, even then, you win stuff. And then you get in the real world, and there are no goddamn awards. This is something that's been on my mind.
I would like to actually win. Can I win a participation trophy for
life?
For life? Exactly. For masochist, for someone who has kept going. I mean, you are officially, talk about being so close. You are guest number 298, and I still have not got one episode of the show ever sponsored. 298. So I guess
that's quite a run.
I guess I must be a masochist.
The funny thing is, I don't do any show without a sponsor. So what is wrong with this picture?
What is wrong with me?
There's some middle ground between being a revenue whore like myself with the B2B coin and someone doing this magnificent show for the good of humanity. I don't know. There must be a middle ground.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is this B2B coin that you speak of?
By the way, the
B2B coin is priced to buy at the moment. I bought some myself.
Are we allowed to say that? Are we allowed to talk about pricing and buying and prices? I don't know. This is not a security. We got to, yeah.
Sorry, the B2B coin is the B2B economy is priced to buy into. Is that better?
Yes, that's much better. But I'm very grateful to participate in this same economy called Rally, this ecosystem of coin holders, creators that you do. And that's how we met. And honestly, that's been, the most exciting part of this club is the ecosystem around the coin and the sort of trading of perks and benefits and buying and selling each other's coins. And this is like Twitter in year 1 or something. This has been really fun.
I know it's Twitter without financial advice. I've got to get better at saying that all the time. But now I want to go back to something, and I mean, this should be more like the ADHD, coin. You asked a question, and it's a damn good one, if I may say so myself. I need to compliment when compliments are due. Do we need awards? And so here's the thing, as an entrepreneur, as a B2B entrepreneur, as a consultant, as someone who started 3 companies before, you kind of need those awards. You need the accolades. You need something that you can stick on your LinkedIn profile, that you can stick in your resume. There's that old saying, which is don't knock what you can't afford, right? It's like, it seems gratuitous. It seems, kind of so self-congratulatory when we think about Cannes and these advertising festivals. But how does a how does in the B2B world, how does one company differentiate and tell themselves apart, if not for press and mentions in the Wall Street Journal or Forbes, or if not for awards, if not for case studies and testimonials?
And companies clearly, and that's a phenomenon now that's almost out of control. You can buy your way into any kind of award or recognition with analysts as a company now, and everyone knows there's a pay to play phenomenon going on with business to business, where you spend a lot of money with Gartner or Forrester or IDC or an analyst firm, you're going to get recognition, maybe awarded, and all kinds of goodness. But I'm really thinking as an individual, what does recognition mean? It used to be on the cover of a magazine, literally. Now you can Photoshop that. Is that now even a thing? Are magazines a thing you can get on the cover? I guess in the airport I see magazines or business person of the year, or maybe the local Better Business Bureau has awards. But
and by the way, and that's pay to play. I mean, as a book author, every single one of those books you see at the book, being sold at airports, that's all pay to play.
So we live in this fake fugazi world where, who knows what is real recognition, what's a real award, what's a fake award. So I think now we just have to focus on being our genuine, authentic self and let the rewards fall where they may. I don't know how we got on this topic, but that's my rant, and I'm sticking to it.
No, it's a fantastic rant, and please look out for Evan Kirstel and JT Fox's new documentary called "Fake Fugazi Famous: The B2B the B2B Debunked."
I've learned I've learned all my tricks, let's say, from Clubhouse. Yes,
yeah,
all the
the
hustle
true.
rooms. Yes.
But if we take away things like fake bios and etc., we got onto the subject because I think, like, really insightfully spoke about the idea of an award. Maybe that's I said a reward. That's a bit Freudian. But again, I'm going to ask the question, and even if people are watching, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. How do we differentiate ourselves when there is so? I mean, I got a book deal when it meant something, when I had to pitch it, when it really felt like I got a book deal, like I won the lottery. Today, all you need is 100,000 Twitter followers and up.
And I had that. And so here's a funny story. I was
when's your book coming out?
It's never coming out. I was approached by a big name publisher who everyone will recognize about a year ago, beginning of the pandemic, saying, "Hey, we want to write a book on 5G." I thought, wow, this is great. I know about 5G. I worked in the industry for 30 years. I'm going to be an author. And as we began to unpack the value proposition, as it were, the book deal involved me doing all the work, me writing the book, me marketing the book, me selling the book, and them getting pretty much all the money without any commitment or effort on their end. And that was, quote unquote, the book deal. So I sort of thought, well, no advance, none of this kind of things that we heard about in our youth around book deals. I walked away, but left with a pretty bad taste in my mouth about the book book writing industry. And this can go on and on, whether it's social media marketing, the world of influencers. I call myself a tech influencer, a techfluencer, because the word influencer has such a nasty negative connotation with folks that shill CBD oil and vaping products, that I was really reluctant to call myself an influencer, even though that's really kind of what I do with B2B tech brands. And so, but this is the reality in which we're living, or should I say the irreality, the meta-reality, metaverse in which we're living at the moment.
Oh, nice. I think I'm going to have to, every time someone says metaverse now, someone's going to have to put $1 into the swear jar. But you didn't tell us how the story ended. So what did you tell Wiley at the end of the day?
I said thanks, but no thanks.
I was just making up that it was Wiley, but as but as Bill Maher would say, I don't know this for a fact. I just know it's true.
Yeah. So, but this is, this is endemic to our industry. You think about content marketing, content creation. Very few people in the tech journalism and tech blogging world now are purists who are writing their thoughts and analysis of the industry. Everyone has an angle, a slant, a pitch, an agenda, a motive. There's something. Even the quote unquote journalists now have, even in tech, which you think wouldn't be very political, have a certain agenda they are pushing. And so, for me, I don't make any bones about it. I'm a marketeer. My content is promotional. I promote my clients. I've been called a shill once or twice, but I'm very upfront and transparent about my work, and I really appreciate what my clients do and the tech and the innovation they're driving. So I'm very happy to be a techfluencer. But it's a brave new world for sure.
I've never ever called you a shill to your face. Maybe once or twice behind your back, but never to your face. I'm just kidding.
Well, aren't all marketing folks shill, except for JAFFE? Except you're not shilling for anything. You are you're a purist. You're a heart of gold.
And you know what happens to the purists and the surgically repaired hearts of gold? They die penniless. I want to come back. I mean, even in jest, you raise so many really interesting points. But before I do that, I just want to say that JS says Joe came third in the Joseph Jaffe lookalike contest. So that's, so still I can't win anything. I still have never won. I've never won an award. Like I never won 20 under 20, 30 under 30, 40 under 40, 50 under 50. I mean, shit, I got to have a chance for 100 under 100. I mean, I got to. I could have been a contender. Anyway, Paul, my friend Paul, who I was meant to have lunch with this week, but he stayed away because I'm vermin. He said, good to see you back. And JS adds, I'm sitting on a pile of Jaffe coin.
Literally a pile. Wow, that's impressive. I'd like to see a picture of that.
I mean, he needs a bigger pile because I can't see him. I'm looking. I'm looking. And JS says, don't forget to mention Talking Heads podcast. I just did, and I will. And Brian Wallace is here. He has another influencer. He said, greetings, friends. The way people use the word influencer scares me. Influence in and of itself isn't a bad thing. And I hope we can get back to that someday as well. And Ritesh adds, maybe it's about the community and not the amount of followers. So, like in all seriousness and sincerity, Evan, every single thing that I have seen about you and every moment that we've been together, every contact point for me has been authentic, genuine. You're a likable guy. You're a warm guy. And you're an unbelievably generous guy. You have supported me in every way that you can. And that you cannot fake. And so the thing is, when you talk about the fact that everyone has an agenda, it is so true. I even tweeted today and I just said, that it's just amazing to me that after everything that has transpired over the last, 20 months with all the crap going on, there's still people that are just so damn selfish and so guarded and so closed and so in it for themselves. And then there are the exact opposite, people that give without expecting anything back in return. So shill or no shill, you're one of those people.
Oh, that's very kind. I think the pandemic is for me has sort of become the best of times and the worst of times, to plagiarize a really good book I read in middle school. But it's brought out like the best in people and the absolute worst in people. And that the divide has never been so great. I don't mean left and right really, but the divide is so great. So, but the good people are out there. Like you see these people on Clubhouse, amazing people, wonderful rooms, and individuals in the coin community that we're connected with, and even just generally thousands of followers on Twitter who are just fabulous people. So like everything, focus on the good because there's just so much of it to focus on.
Well, I will tell you, from the sublime to the ridiculous, one of my favorite moments from a Simpsons episode. Mr. Burns is walking through his factory, and he says, and I'll try my best Mr. Burns impersonation. And in this room, we have 50 well-trained monkeys that are writing the next great American novel. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times, you idiots.
I'm totally tweeting that. I'm finding that clip.
Yeah. Do you think that's our 1 minute highlight clip?
I think you nailed it.
I think
There's
Scott
nowhere to
Monty,
go here. There's nowhere to go here from now on but down. Sorry.
Scott Monty's going, curse you. Anyway, let's stay on the ridiculous and let's talk about some fun facts about you. And you know what? There aren't too many. I mean, your whole life is a fun fact, I guess. But one thing we learned about you, which is I think endemic to who you are, you don't divide work and home. You know, you just are who you are, and this is actually.
I got to screenshot that. I got to screenshot that.
Would you
that
like? Would you like
can
that view? Oh yeah, I can give you view A.
Can you NFT it for me? That would be great.
Should we? Can I be in the NFT? Wait, I'll give you. I'll you don't even know what the thing. There you go. There's your screenshot. But the question is, what is going on, and who was behind Evan's face? Gee, I wonder who. But here's
I
what
wonder who wears a long tie that's far too long. I
exactly
can't imagine.
Well, here's your fun fact. You've tweeted over 1M plus times. I mean, I don't know how long an M is.
Not all in the toilet. Not all in the toilet, I must say.
How long is an M? No, over 1 million times. How do you even track that?
Well, Twitter tells you. If you go to your profile, it'll show you how many times you've tweeted. And to my great embarrassment, that is publicly available for anyone to see. So go to Evan Kirstel on Twitter. But it's been 13, 14 years. So if you break it down, it really is only a few hundred times a day. So it's not that bad when you think about it like that. There are 24 hours in a day.
That is, and clearly you don't sleep.
I do sleep, but there's this little thing called automation and scheduling. Anyway, it's a long story, but it's a sad story. I wouldn't recommend anyone.
Well, we actually sent our anthropologists into the field to try and dissect your brain, and so this is what we apparently.
There's a screenshot coming.
Yeah, apparently there is method to the madness, but it does involve some kind of craving, and I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that tweeting feels good.
I think there's an ADHD diagnosis behind all of this. I'll have to talk to Fanzo to get a proper diagnosis, but yeah, there's some clearly behavior that's not recommended behind tweeting 1 million times. So but as they say, it's a living.
Is this a dumb question? But have you already bought Twitter Blue?
I have, and I for $3. Look, people are complaining. $3. Look, you get what you pay for. So for $3, it's kind of you get what you pay for. But I recommend it. You can undo tweets. You can tweak the fonts and the reading style, and you get some ad-free content like Business Insider and some other sites that are ad supported, so you don't have to pay. So yeah, for me, it's a site that's connected me to amazing people. I mean, I've met all my clients on Twitter. I've met hundreds of amazed thousands of people in person through social. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, is connect in a meaningful way. And now with my lovely bride-to-be, Irma, we actually have a business together called Avira Health. And we're doing the same thing in the health tech world, which she knows more about than I. But so, yeah, there's just so many business opportunities to be had on these platforms now. It's amazing.
All right. Well, you've now sparked 3 different tangents in me. But first, when you mention your company, I would be remiss if I didn't plug it and tell people about it. So If you are looking for indoor air quality specialists, Envira Health is where you should. That's another NFT, right? No, I'm
Good.
just
You
kidding.
are good.
I'm just kidding. You want to go to Envira Health, and I love this website, by the way. Making connections, delivering results. Your health tech social media marketing partner. So here's the thing. You mentioned the word relationship. That you've met all your clients, that you've built. You and I, we've built this relationship up without ever meeting in real life.
Without actually doing a video like this, where
Even this, right?
Wild.
So one of our fellow creator coins and partners in crime, Mr. Gregarious Narain, he is our Monday correspondent on entrepreneurship. And today's vignette is actually titled Relationship. So let's hear what he had to say.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful journey and your trip to entrepreneurship. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about building relationships. I think, there's this saying that sort of the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, and the second best time is today. And that sort of truism applies, I believe, to many other parts of life. And I would include in that the process of building good and worthwhile relationships, because relationships pay dividends over time. They can reward you in an emotional level, financially, and certainly in terms of education and your pursuits over time. And I think too often when entrepreneurs decide that they want to do something new, say first-time entrepreneurs in particular, you are searching for all kinds of resources and assets to try to help you through the process. And that network is going to be a hyper important part of your toolkit. So focus on building strong relationships early, keeping in touch, staying on top of them, being the person that everyone remembers is the one that was always checking in to see if everyone was okay. And then it'll make it easier when it comes time and you're ready and you need help to be able to ask for help by being able to talk to that powerful network of people that you've already put together. And that's it for today.
He's good.
Yeah, he is good. And it looks like there was a menorah in the background there.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I've been focused on your background, in particular the array of interesting little collectibles. Anyway, not to divert the discussion. I could psychoanalyze you right now based on your background. I think you got Nelson Mandela says a lot. Wonderful. There's just lots of very cool stuff.
So you know what the brand strategy behind this actually is? I started out the show, Evan, as you remember, always with green screen, and it was always something to do with. So I would have maybe had your B2B coin or something to do with you, and then I kind of flipped it and I turned my desk around, and what's interesting is the shelves behind me are a snapshot of my life. But it's not just so you can see, for example, like, whether it's my vaccine card, which I've now taken off because I'm pissed off. No, I'm kidding. I just haven't put it back. My up there are my NYU and my Western Connecticut State University faculty IDs. And then I've got a lot of books that are actually my guests. So there's a lot of like product placement going on there. And I always say, like, for example, if there's anything you want me to display, specifically, you have to have a bobblehead doll made of you. If I just imagine one exists already, I keep adding to it, and so in a way, they're like Easter eggs there. And it's I'm glad you picked it up because it's specifically designed, to kind of reflect me in my life and also the show.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to go a deep dive through it a little bit later. Speaking of which, do you encourage drinking or marijuana use on the show, or is that a no-no for the?
Not only do I encourage it, but I actually have not yet had the first marijuana insertion on my show.
Oh, okay. Well, I think you've got a bright future ahead of you. That's a growing market.
So, but drinking, yes, except at the moment everything tastes, everything tastes like this vodka over here. So I'm taking a hiatus from soda, from wine, from scotch, from food, from beverages.
What else is there? So what do the doctors say about getting your sense of smell and taste back? Is it something that gradually comes?
Nothing at the moment. I mean, I haven't even had that conversation. So it's
Oh,
just
Lord.
every morning and every night, I basically take cologne and I just spray it on my wrist, and I take a deep breath and can't smell anything at the moment. And I feel like maybe a glimpse of taste has come back, but it might be just in my head. So
on a positive note, between double vaccinations and COVID, your antibody levels are off the charts. I mean, you are probably one of the most immune individuals on the planet right now. So, night clubbing, bar hopping, pub crawls.
monoclonal antibodies. You forgot about that,
right? Oh, yes. Icing on the cake.
Icing on the
cake. Must be a
cake.
tremendous sense of freedom now to go maskless into crowded
No,
bars.
I will stay vigilant, and I will stay responsible, and and I will party like it's 2019. Now I have a question for you. In fact, there was another question that came all the way right at the beginning. I think it was from Mr. Gilbert. But my question for you is, we spoke about Twitter Blue, and I was thinking to myself, why, especially in the B2B world, why do we struggle to pay for stuff of value? I mean, period. And it's one thing. It's one thing to talk about, giving more money to a Twitter or to a platform. But when we think about, in this Patreon world, in this Rally world, in this Substack world, why do we struggle to actually, compensate and reward intelligent thought leaders, entrepreneurs, creators for their content?
Well, it's a great question. I don't have answers. I mean, first of all, I think a lot of people are being squeezed. There isn't much spare cash to spend between their healthcare premiums and school for the kids and their ridiculously expensive cable bills and heating. I mean, on and on and on. And I think it's just a tragedy. I think most people are living paycheck to paycheck and don't have that sort of cash flow. But I think beyond the economics, we've been trained by the tech giants and by even going back to the ad-supported TV, newspapers, radio, that this stuff is free, and that's a psychology that's been going on for decades and has only been enhanced with the ad-supported internet services and freemium and the social media networks, to the point where we just have this belief or insistence as consumers that content is free. So it's a sad reality for creators. Even if you look at streaming services, and basically for all intended purposes, I'm getting music for free. I mean, a few bucks a month where I can listen to it free on YouTube, and on and on and on. So it's a dog eat dog world that this system has created for us.
So there's got to be there's got to be a happy ending, or there's got to be a good outcome. How do we?
You're so optimistic. Why does there have to be a happy ending? This is not a movie.
This is not a massage parlor.
My favorite author is Cormac McCarthy. Did you read The Road? I bought all his books, by the way. There's no happy ending in Cormac McCarthy's novels. And like in life, sometimes there aren't happy endings either. So I think the tech giants are going to get bigger and stronger, and consumers are going to keep getting squeezed and screwed. And, some countries will take a stand. I think Europe has been amazing on privacy and data privacy, data protection. And some countries like Australia are reining in the Facebooks and others, but we're beholden to big tech and big capitalism here in the U.S. So, such is the reality.
I think you need to reach for that marijuana and alcohol and
Oh, I've already started. You know, what do you think the green room is for? I mean, you know, that there is a
nice,
reason,
nice. Well, that's why I called it the green room. So
right?
Jay says then in this, if these guys are just going to get bigger and bigger, he says, who's going to win?
Well, there will be winners, and clearly Apple is winning big time on silicon today and compute and mobile devices. And these things comes in waves. So we had another wave every 10 years or so. And I think the winners will come from unexpected places. I mean, who would have saw Tesla emerge as a big tech player 5 years ago? No one would have predicted that in space and in cars, obviously, but even ancillary businesses. So I think we'll have some surprise winners, but we live in this winner take all society, so it's going to be an interesting ride.
All right, so I'm gonna disagree with you, but only from an optimistic standpoint. And I'll say a couple things. One is, first of all, and JS was saying earlier how much he hates the freemium model. First of all, let me start off with that. I think what we have been given, the gift that we have been able to be afforded in the form of this creator coin, in the form of this community that we are a community within a community, right? There is the JAFFE community, there is the B2B community, but you and I are part of a family as well. And what I really love about the two elements of this new currency, right, of this new computing power, is number one, every week the concept of rewards, that there are rewards that are shared with a community. But most importantly is I love HODL, right? I love the fact that you can hold coin and benefit from doing so. And I actually think it's a compromise, right? It's a compromise between I give you free shit morning, noon, and night versus you have to pay me for everything. Now there's a middle ground, right? There's a middle ground that says if you buy a $54 JAFFE NFT, there are benefits for doing so if you needed them. And maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to say, hey, Joe, you bought one today, Evan, just to say, I'm supporting you. But there are benefits too. So maybe this is I don't want to say it's the perfect solution, Evan, but maybe it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Oh, and it is. And I think the whole movement to what people call Web 3.0, if you think, the beginning of the internet was Web 1.0 and Web 2.0 is where we are today with the big tech giants and telecom giants. Web 3.0, as you know, is a more decentralized world in which the power is in the hands of the individual and the creators and is not in the hands of the big tech oligopolies and big government. So this world of creator coins is just the beginning of a wave of decentralized applications, decentralized finance applications and payment and social media and other apps. So we're at the beginning of a journey that is pretty exciting with Web 3.0.
I would agree, and I would be remiss if I didn't say that that first of all, J.S. Gilbert has correctly predicted that JAFFE coin will overtake Bitcoin. From your mouth to God's ears. And he says every Sunday he converts his rally rewards to a new creator coin. He has 19 so far. JS, I am supporting 175 creators at the moment.
Cool.
So
I need to up my game. That is very impressive.
I have too much time on my hands. No doubt. But the other thing, Evan, that I wanted to chat to you about was you spoke about this idea of there is no happy ending. The big will get bigger and bigger, and where I'll push back is the fact that when I wrote Built to Suck, I spoke about the fact that the business model of big business was broken, and on the inside of the flap, I read what Jeff Bezos said to his people, which is one day we will go bankrupt. One day we will go out of business. Your job is to delay that for as long as possible. Now, you take Amazon and you put Amazon aside as Exhibit A. You maybe put Apple as Exhibit B at the time when Steve Jobs was fired, although, that ship has sailed. So maybe I'll withdraw that exhibit. But Exhibit C is MetaBook or Face Meta or Face Mask or whatever the hell their name is now. Face MetaMask. I teach at 3 different schools at the moment, and every single time any of my students are talking about Face MetaMask or writing about it, they write it as the platform for older people. So, I just don't think that anyone lives. We spoke about life, we spoke about death, we spoke about health. Nobody lives forever, and eventually you become too big and too slow and too cumbersome, and you go the way that everyone has gone before you. That's what I believe, and that actually is my optimistic story in response to you.
And sometimes what's next is not is even worse, whether it's the new China that's emerging from, I mean, when I was in school, like China was a country you wanted to go visit and have exchange programs with. And now we're in this new Cold War. And we thought that, Russia, the USSR, we had this breakthrough, and there was sort of a friendly country at one point in history. And now we have Facebook disintegrating and TikTok rising, which has its own slew of issues, and negativity and other things. So what comes next isn't always better than what preceded it. So look, the glass is always half empty, Jaffe. That's what you have to understand.
And I'll tell you, or the Toy Sweeney mug is completely empty at the. Oops, something fell out, but it wasn't liquid. But I will let me feed you for a second and build on top of what you said. You said something quite profound. You said sometimes what comes next is not better, right, and can in fact be worse. Well, right now, of course, I'm not saying this is worse, but a bunch of nerds. I mean, NFT aficionados are trying to buy the Constitution in a kind of DAO to buy the Constitution, and I know something that you are very, I'm not saying that that's worse, but what I am saying is you are very concerned with the digital divide. And whatever the digital divide was coming into this, right? And worse in countries where broadband is not, guaranteed. I mean, this scathing tweet was written, not that one, that's this one was written that actually spoke about today's, the nihilism of the NFT industry. That actually what's going on right now is the divide between the haves and the have-nots, the wealthy, and the needy is growing even larger. So is this an example of what you said, which is what comes next, in fact, may not be better, may in fact be worse?
Look, I mean, I'm in the 1%, and people like me have never had much more free money and cash flow and business in the history of the economy. I mean, just look at the wealth of the top, 1,000 wealthiest folks in the country through the pandemic. I mean, their income and earnings and value, net worth have increased to the stratosphere. And there's, this whole NFT and crypto craze writ large is a function of a lot of people having way too much money to spend on, semi-frivolous kind of projects, whether it's consumption or NFTs or Bitcoin. So I think there's a real issue with income inequality, not because it just exists, but because it's accelerating. I mean, every year it gets worse and worse. And there's this, I think we used to have in our lifetime, Jaffe, this really big, robust middle class that was, and I just, like every year, every decade, as I get older, I just see it like slowly shrinking, and people like myself and you and others doing better and better, and a lot of people were more working paycheck to paycheck in kind of crappy jobs, mostly non-unionized jobs and gig economy jobs, and it's just really disheartening.
Well, I tell you, I mean, it's you bring up a bunch of really important things. I love that phrase, semi-frivolous. I mean, he might be being generous in terms of the task. And I think nothing happens by accident. Today is actually National Philanthropy Day. Change the
Wow.
world with a giving heart. And
I didn't know that.
but I'd like to believe that this could very well be, the antidote to all the, the consuming narcissism, and toxicity that comes from, wanting more and more and more, and flipping, and dealing with spots and dots and numbers that, let's be honest, this is the world of the investment banker and the hedge fund manager that gets a check, a bonus for $2 to $3 million at the end of the year. And what have they created? What have they actually manufactured? What have they birthed? Absolutely nothing. But coming back to this idea of being National Philanthropy Day, maybe there is an opportunity for entrepreneurs like yourself, like myself, to give more than we get, or more than we take, and to be able to make a difference as individuals, and hope that that sticks for society by and large.
Oh, I love that, and I hope that we can all get behind that movement. And I worry because, you look at countries that you're probably more familiar with than I am, in places where there is a massive gap between the elite and the common man, or the rich and the poor, the upper class and the lower class, however you want to define that. And look at all the strife that ensues, and the pain, and the upheaval that causes, whether it's a home South Africa, or whether it's parts of the world and that are going through turmoil right now. And I hope, for all of the upheaval we've had in the U.S. over the last years, I hope we don't get to that point, that it really begins to tear at the civil society.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful wish. It's a beautiful desire, and I think if I could leave today with two quotes, the first quote would be, "With great power comes great responsibility," which we know all too well, and I think we all have this opportunity to sift through all the noise around us, as you see around us right now, all of these tokens, fungible or otherwise, or non-fungible, and the get rich quick schemes, and be able to kind of always, as this saying goes, don't look at the finger, look at where the finger's pointing. If we truly do believe in community, if we truly do believe in a decentralized utopia, then it's up to us to build that better world together. That's the one quote. The other quote for you, because there's always a quote, is this quote. This is the quote of the episode for you. "The currency of real networking is not greed, but B2B coin." No, wait, I misread that. "The currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity." And that was said by someone who hasn't been on the show yet, but I hope he will come on, is Keith Ferrazzi.
Wonderful. Well, that's amazing food for thought. And this has been a real tour de force this hour. Wow, we really touched on some fun and deep and interesting topics. So thanks so much.
It was kind of crazy because I mean, from alcohol and marijuana to massage parlors and happy endings, we somehow managed to still talk about digital divides, giganticism in corporations. I mean, what didn't we talk about? We spoke about relationships. We spanned the globe. We hopefully started to bridge the divide. And I, for one, am richer for this last hour. Evan Kirstel, guest number 298, is the Techfluencer. When he's not tweeting 1 million times, he's creating amazing, amazing content. You can subscribe to Talking Points. I got to come on the show. Am I allowed to? Am I eligible? Can I pitch to be on the show?
That show is about enterprise communication apps and services.
Love
So I
it.
think
Love it.
you might literally fall asleep on the show.
Can I come on when I have insomnia?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you will not find me on Talking Points anytime soon, but you will find me as one of the B2B coin holders, because I'm so proud that I'm part of this growing economy. Find out more at rally.io/creator/B2B. You can find out more about Evan's business, Avira Health, at avirahealth.com. I corrected myself. Find out more. I mean, he is prolific, this man, giving away so much incredible free content for now on Twitter at Evan Kirstel. You can also follow him on Instagram and hang out with him in Clubhouse. We didn't even get to talk about audio in Clubhouse. Maybe when you come back, we'll do that. And finally, last but not least, you can connect with him on LinkedIn. Evan Kirstel, Mr. B2B. You will have third last word after J.S. Gilbert. No, actually, you'll have the second last word. J.S. Gilbert says, like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives.
Wonderful. Stay safe. Get better fast. No more COVID for you. You're done. You've had your COVID quota, and can't wait to hear you on Clubhouse.
I will one day be back, maybe. But until then, I leave you in the capable hands of Chuck Norris.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
And I will be back tomorrow night. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.